Eric and I got married in 2011 at Union Church, and we actually never truly considered to have kids of our own because we felt like there's already enough trouble, and we didn't really see too much um, hope actually in Hong Kong before we came to church. But after experience church and seeing all the families in Union Church, we started to think, um, we actually want to have kids of our own. And I feel like God has planted a seed in our hearts. He has changed our hearts to think of building a family of our own. And so we start to pray and try to have kids. But it wasn't successful in the beginning. So we actually started a fertility journey about 5 years into our marriage. We've been praying for many years by ourselves. We didn't really tell people about it because we didn't know how to start, and we just felt like because we were still young at that time, and we didn't feel the rush and urgency like we must have a child now. So we just took it naturally, and it was in 2018, beginning of 2018, I got pregnant, and it was almost a miracle for me, I feel like, because for my situation, I felt like it's kind of difficult to have to conceive naturally, and I did conceive naturally at that time. So it was a joyful moment. But then after that, we got a miscarriage. So I felt like I was lifted up to the skies and then just brought back down to the mud hole at that time. Honestly, I didn't remember much about what was going on in 2018 after my miscarriage. I was just a hollow being, like living every day, but not going through different emotions. I just remember certain moments of being really down in the mud hole, and that's it. My life was consumed by asking questions of why. Why did God let it happen? Why did He lift me up, give me hope, and then took it away? It felt very lonely. It felt as if I just want to be with Eric, just the two of us together in the mud hole and not come out ever again. It was as if my life was put on hold that year, and I finally told myself, or I think God told me, you couldn't live like this anymore. You have to bring yourself out because there's so much more waiting for you. And I felt like if I don't focus on this, it's as if I gave up on God, you know. I gave up praying for this. It felt like I didn't believe enough for Him to bring me through. So I was afraid that to give up this hope of being a mother ever. Yeah. I think because Eric and I were serving a church as worship leaders, we were small group leaders. We have helped out with different things. People always feel us as being joyful and faithful in the Lord. And it's very difficult to share your doubts sometimes, because honestly, that was what I was going through. It's not that I don't believe in God, but praying these prayers, I don't have any trouble praying for other people, but I do doubt sometimes, like, is God listening to my prayers? Are the songs that we are singing true in our lives? So it's difficult to open up in church, especially. So when people ask, how are you? Or even they ask, have you left church? And we just say, no, we're still here. It's just going through some schedule conflicts and stuff like that. We did open up to a few people, and I think they all came to us with a good heart, good intention. They'll say, oh, why didn't you tell us earlier? We could have prayed together. And some will share stories about, how the barren women in the Bible, they prayed and prayed, and they are blessed with the children, and they prayed these prayers over me. And in my head, I know that they're all good words and I believe them, but in my heart, I really have trouble accepting that, because I have prayed these prayers so many years. I have prayed and prayed and prayed like Hannah and other women. Is God not hearing my prayers, and am I not faithful enough? So interacting with others sometimes made me doubt my own faith. So I felt like I couldn't live like that anymore, and I started to chase my other dreams, because God has put so many desires in my heart that I have put them on hold because I was chasing a dream to be a mother. And so I applied for the program in Hong Kong U for an expressive arts therapy program, and they accepted me. And it was a 3 years program. And actually, through training to be a therapist, I was open to a lot of inner healing myself, because we have to do a lot of experiential, a lot of personal art making. And it was through my personal art making that I truly open up myself to, and be vulnerable, and truly be vulnerable, and in front of God, and really journey inward to my soul and see and took out what is hurting me and face the hurt really for real. Yeah, I think through the journey, it's not only a personal healing, but God has also used this to equip me. And I think for me, before, I always thought my calling was to maybe just lead worship, maybe serve in my own capacity. But God has told me there's so much more. People are hurting inside that we couldn't always see. So I really want to care for people in inner being and inner soul and what is in their heart. Eric and I were still going through a fertility journey, and we don't have a child to show yet. And often at church, we see testimonies about people going through different struggles, and they have something to show. But for me, I feel like God is telling me, no matter what happens, He is still here with us, and we don't have to go through this alone. And even opening up to different groups, like in Grief Share and small groups, individuals did come to me, and they will share about their own journey, which they have kept secret for a long time as well. So I think God is just trying to tell us that we don't have to go through this alone. Yes, He is there with us, but He has also placed people in our community that we can support one another, to not only go through the good times, but to be vulnerable together, to truly walk alongside each other. And He has given us this community of believers.